Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be able to spend some time with you talking about you and your business on today's program. We got a lot to cover, so I think I'm going to jump right into it. Every week we have our good friend Todd Randolph on the program. He's with USI.biz, and he's a regular contributor here on The Price of Business. Love the content. Love the guests that you bring on the program. Real quickly, tell us a little bit about USI.biz, USI, the company, and then after that, go ahead and introduce your guest today.
Good morning, Kevin, and thank you for having us on this week. Of course, USI, we are an employee benefits firm. Actually, we're more than that. We are we are an insurance services advisory firm, and it's our job to go out and consult with our clients, whether it's property and casualty, employee benefits, 401k. Certainly, in my area of specialty, it is employee benefits. And really, what I do is, I help employers and their employees feel like they're part of a Fortune 100 company with the different services that we provide. And one thing I do want to mention this week, while we're talking about different services we provide as far as wellness goes, is since our listeners can't see me, they won't know that I do have a beard now.
Thanks for mentioning that. Yes. Yeah, you had to get your plug-in for this important cause.
Right.
You're hairy for a reason.
Right. This is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so many people out there may know that this is No Shave November. And so in response to that, a lot of the people in our firm, you'll probably see a lot more beards around Houston this month. So
there you go. I know I've been noticing it on the Today Show as well.
Yeah.
That some of the people on there have been doing it. So, all right, why don't you go ahead and introduce your guest now that you have mentioned your beard. We ought to take a picture of that and put it on priceofbusiness.com, actually. But go ahead. Go ahead and introduce your guest.
Certainly. I have with us today Danielle Supkischeek. Hence the name of her company as well, Danielle Supkischeek Accounting. And she is Danielle spends a lot of time with organizations looking at their finances, so she's full well in tune with what's going on from an organizational perspective and a lot of things that we deal with as well.
Very good. Welcome to the show, Danielle.
Thank you for having me.
Kind of give us that macro overview of what your firm is all about.
I'm an accounting and attestation firm, which is a fancy word for audits. Mm-hmm. I help clients get through their audit process more easily. Audits are really scary for most businesses. Most business owners are scared beyond belief of having their audit. They have no idea what that entails. And I tend to make the audit an easier process for them to go through. Do a little hand-holding, do a little teaching, and make sure they understand what's happening around them and turn the audit into a learning experience and additional value for their business rather than just getting a piece of paper that says they were audited, and turn it into a constructive process.
Yeah, very good. Your question, Todd?
Yeah, what's one of the main issues that your clients face?
I think we're getting to a point where the accounting is no longer supporting the operations of the business. We're getting to the point where accounting has started dictating how operations functions. So the big example coming out right now that probably most people have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'll keep it short, is lease accounting. Operating leases may be going away with the new accounting rules, and so people are looking at restructuring their leases and turning what would be a long-term, let's say a 30-year lease on a building, into a short-term, month-to-month lease, and that's just because of an accounting rule, but that doesn't make good operational decisions in many cases. And so that's what's really, I see, as the big problem in accounting these days.
So you're saying that that they created a situation from a tax perspective that made it viable, but now that's changing?
No, it's not even on the tax perspective. It's on the financial reporting side. So the U.S. generally accepted accounting principles side of it. There's a new lease proposal that's been out. They keep redrafting it. Everyone hates it, for lack of a better word, except for the financial statement boards. And it's just not going in the direction I think small businesses need.
Okay, very good. Todd, your next question?
Sure. And one area where we both probably have some commonality is when we're working with human resources. And how's that fit in with the accounting for small and medium-sized businesses today?
I see two major problems with the interactions between accounting departments and human resources departments. The first is in the compliance area, and then the second is in accounting staff acting as HR professionals. The compliance side is pretty scary, and I'll let you be the expert on the compliance side with all the new rules. But what happens when you have a compliance miss is it creates a liability on your financial statements, and the technical term is called contingent liability. But what really you need to know is that it just impacts your financial statements, which can be scary.
Mm-hmm. So, what part of town actually are you in? Is your
Heights.
firm in the Heights? Oh, that's a cool area. And how long have you been in practice?
I've been in practice. I started my career at Big Four Accounting, and I just left a director position at a small firm in Houston. And actually, my firm has been in business as the current structure for 3 months and 4 days. I'm a brand new firm.
Okay, very good. Todd?
Going back to the financial side of the organization versus human resources, and when looking at the problems of accounting trying to be human resources, what scares you the most when you look at those problems?
There's a couple things that scare me. I'd say the most scary thing for the business owner is the pass-through of personal liability from some of the HR items that accounting will touch. When you start commingling your accounting and HR functions, you start losing what's called segregation of duties, which in general terms is the ability to prevent people from, in effect, stealing or accidentally having errors in your company. So if you have HR and accounting mixed together, you lose some of that segregation in responsibilities. And for stuff like payroll taxes, where the payroll tax will pass through to the personal liability of the business owner, if you haven't been keeping an eye on making sure your remittances are made, your business owner could be stuck with a big bill.
Right.
That's the scariest for me.
Mm-hmm. Kind of give us an overview of the conversations that your clients are having with you when they talk about what they think about most these days. Talk about what they're saying to you somewhat naturally, and then fit in how the Obamacare discussion has been part of that.
I'd say they talk to me about not understanding what's going on and not knowing what to do about it. My recommendation is on the HR side, you bring in somebody that's a professional and knows what's going on, particularly from Obamacare. Most of my clients are actually on the smaller side, so I only have probably about half my clients that are over that 50 employer mark. But they still don't know what's going on, and so I still recommend that they talk to a professional. For stuff that's easy wins, something like going to the EFTPS website, which is a government website where you can check for your payroll tax deposits to make sure they've actually been remitted, is an easy way. And that's what I like to focus the conversations to, is easy wins for the business owner. And for the stuff that's really complicated, get somebody that's a professional so you don't have a compliance miss.
All right, we got about a minute left. Todd, you want to wrap up with any thoughts before we let you go?
No, I think it's one of the reasons why we work well together, in that, from a financial reporting side and the accounting side, Danielle is an expert in what she does. And when there's an opportunity for us, from a compliance perspective, she's able to recognize what's going on with an organization and allow USI and our team to come in and actually help out organizations figure out what's truly going on with healthcare reform, and issues that they may be having. And I guess from that perspective, we have favorite things in our roles. And I guess I would finish up by asking you, what is the favorite part of...
And you're going to have to answer this really quick,
yeah.
Because when I said it was the end, it really was the end. So better make it a quick question real fast.
My favorite thing to do is work on segregation of duties with companies that have limited resources and come up with creative ways to create and mimic traditional segregation of duties without the traditional resources.
Yeah, you did it fast, thank God. All right, but it was a good answer, too. Todd Randolph, he is with USI.biz. And then Danielle Supkischeek, she is with the firm Supkischeek.com, and that's SUPKISCHEEK.com. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at USDailyReview.com, and this is The Price of Business.